HooHooHooRobin.
Rita, gonna cause some damage.
Rita's gonna fuck up our world, man.
Category 5.
Holy
heading
crap.
toward Texas. They showed all the oil platforms that are out there in the water right off the coast of Texas on the Gulf. This is just, it could be really devastating to the oil industry.
819 manned
platforms just off of the coast of Texas that this thing's heading right for.
and 137 rigs.
Oil rigs.
Oil rigs. They had all the dots.
Yeah, all the dots off the coast, and you're like, oh my God, this thing's just sweeping right through it.
And this thing
I
is
can't believe
heading-
you can get a boat out of there.
Yeah, right? No mercy. No mercy this thing has.
How do you
on
get
those,
a boat out of there?
How do you leave?
You can't leave the Gulf of Mexico with this thing heading toward you.
People stay on those platforms through these things?
No,
Creepy would that be?
no, they're out of there. They got to be out of there. Well, that's what they're saying. They have to shut down all this, and that's what's going to hike the oil, no matter what.
Yeah,
and the
'cause
gas prices.
nothing's going to get processed.
All right, let's go to some audio.
Let's head right over to Tony Perkins. He's been tracking the
Tony
path of
Perkins.
the storm. We want to know, is it near
Mother?
Louisiana? Is it going only to Texas? Tony, what do you know?
Well, that remains to be seen, Diane. And as a matter of fact, the storm has now taken a little bit of a jog to the north as we speak. Early this morning that has happened. Here is the storm. As Diane mentioned, it is nearly 400 miles across. That's about the size of the state of Michigan. It is moving to the west-northwest. Remember, yesterday it was just moving west, moving to the northwest now, making landfall probably around Galveston early on Saturday. It is an intense storm with wind speeds of 175 miles per hour. You'll remember that Katrina reached 175 miles per hour. We're likely to see it drop down to a Category 4 before it makes landfall, but still, that will be a hurricane that can cause some catastrophic damage. Why is this happening again in the Gulf of Mexico? Let's take a look at some of what the concerns are. First of all, here's how a hurricane works. It draws up warm water into the core of the hurricane. That is what fuels the hurricane. That's what gives it its energy. Barometric pressure lowers, and that makes the winds more intense, up to 175 miles an hour at this point. What's the problem here in the Gulf? We have warm waters. Again, that is the fuel. Take a look. In fact, in the month of August, the waters in the Gulf were 1.5 degrees above normal. That doesn't sound like a lot, but that provides a lot of energy for this storm. That's why this is the second Category 5 hurricane we've had in the Gulf in the last month.
Amazing. Now they're saying the president might be drinking again.
Really?
We got to get to that story in a second here. Wow. But first, more audio.
This could be the strongest hurricane to ever hit Texas. Here in Houston, the nation's fourth largest city, people who live near the many flood-prone bayous and along the city's ship canal have been told to leave.
As we see the storm developing, it's better to leave sooner rather than later.
Even with the bayou just a few blocks away, Mark Sportel says he's staying put. He bought his home just 10 months ago.
What an ass. You never hear from these guys after the storm goes by the way. They all sound brave beforehand. Whatever happened to all those people in Mississippi that were going to stay?
Yeah.
They can't find any of them.
Nope. Gone.
I remember hearing about a guy that was just going to hang out on his boat and ride it out. And they were showing like pylons that were like 20 feet up in the air. Like, I don't know, a good 10 feet above his boat.
Hey, yeah, what happened to him?
Remember that guy? And they said the boat will go as high as the pylons, 10 feet higher.
Yeah.
And he was going to ride out the whole damn thing.
Hey, what happened to him?
He had a little business, I guess, a little ferry business or a little casino or a little party boat, something. And he had so much money that he invested in this thing. He's like, no, I'm riding it out. This is my life. This is my career.
What do you think happened?
So gone. So done.
You're kidding.
I think we'll be okay here. We won't get high water. If we do, it's not going to get up too high.
Still others
What are you
have
basing
learned
that
from
on?
I know.
Yeah.
Right.
That would be all right.
It's not going to get too
Should be
high.
fine.
Should be
Category
fine.
5, direct hit. Should be fine. No
Gonna
problem.
ride it out.
Too high.
Still others have learned from Katrina. In Surfside Beach, hundreds waited for buses, leaving their homes bringing only what they could carry, a Bible and photos of loved ones. Rocky Morgan carried just a bag.
A small bag that you could put underneath your seat.
In South Houston, nursing homes are being
Thank God they
evacuated
put that
along
clip
with
in there.
hospitals in
Yeah.
low-lying areas.
This is awful. That lady pushed me.
And for Houstonians who've been allowed to stay, it's now a race to get water and supplies. The images of New Orleans are still fresh.
Katrina, I think, has put people in a state of frenzy around here.
There is also a real concern about the refineries here. Texas produces nearly a quarter of the nation's gas and heating oil, and there's no telling how they'll hold up into Category 5.
$20 a gallon.
And with concern about those refineries, the worries about this hurricane extend well beyond the Gulf Coast. Energy experts say if this hurricane is a direct hit, this could be the one to send gas prices up to $4 a gallon. Charlie?
No, they're saying $5 now. They're
Why do
saying
they have
$5
those
a
stupid
gallon.
little drop-ins, though? This man brought a sandwich. I think it's a ham on rye. And then they just keep going.
Yeah. He brought a bag with him on the bus. It's a small bag.
Fits under the seat.
It's under the seat. It fits under the seat. You heard it here, folks.
When do you think the president just goes on TV and starts openly drinking? He's having a tough month, man.
You hear the ice clinking as he reaches under the podium.
He turns into either Dr. Bellows or
he fucked up his speeches when he was sober.
Right.
Yeah.
And maybe he'll finally get him right. It'll just be like
he's going to turn into either Dr. Bellows or the priest from Caddyshack.
There is no God.
Right.
My name's George. Right. Mr. President, my name's George. I'm a man just like you. You're the president. There is no president.
He's just going to lose it.
Just a mess.
He looks really like he's messed up, man. He's
Yeah.
not holding up well.
I want to go back to my ranch. Get some moonshine.
Yeah. Oh, watch it, revenuers. Here come the revenuers. He's got a still going in the back. He's drinking again. Is what is this? The Globe? The Enquirer? Which one?
National Enquirer.
National Enquirer.
Let me tell you something about the National Enquirer. They get a lot of these stories right in the end.
They certainly
and
do.
It's pretty brave of them to just announce that the president is boozing again.
Is drinking.
Because that could be the end of your magazine if this is false. You can't fuck with the president in that way.
Or your life.
Or your life, sure.
Yeah,
These are
the CIA down there.
This is a world exclusive. Laura's panic as Prez hits the bottle over Katrina chaos. Bush's booze crisis. Want to read some of that in?
Yeah, it's he said he quit drinking after his 40th birthday. Was that it?
Yeah.
And now he's 59, and he was caught by the First Lady downing a shot of booze at their family ranch in Crawford, Texas, when he learned of the hurricane disaster. So that started him drinking. He didn't start drinking at 9/11, but the hurricane gets him. Yeah, the war, everything, and then a hurricane finally put him over the top. He learned of the disaster. His wife yelled at him, "Stop, George!" Following the shocking incident disclosed here, for the first time, Laura privately warned her husband against falling off the wagon.
Well, if she said that privately, then how is that quote in the National Enquirer?
It's an insider saying this.
It's
yeah,
the
how
Jim
is that?
Beam or me?
Privately warned her husband against, quote, falling off the wagon, unquote.
And vowed to travel with him more often so that she could keep an eye on W, the sources add.
The sources add. When the levees broke in New Orleans, it apparently made him reach for a shot, said one insider. He poured himself a Texas-sized shot of straight whiskey and tossed it back. The First Lady was shocked and shouted, "Stop, George!" Laura gave him an ultimatum before. It's Jim Beam or me.
That just sounds fake.
Does it?
No one would say that.
I believe it's Jim Beam or me is a quote from her back when they first got married. I read some bio on her and him with his drinking, and she did say that years ago when he was drinking. She had commented on it. So it's not like she just said this. She did say it back when they first got married.
I don't know.
No?
It's a fucking Enquirer. And then what? He was drinking with an alien? Drinking with an alien last night. I was on hallucinogens.
Came down. We tossed back Texas-sized shots. And they said they'd fix the levee. Everything's going to be fine.
Going to my ranch. Gonna lasso some cattle.
We're going to dress the alien up in Western wear so he looks like he belongs.
Like one of the Cartwrights.
Put him on a horse. The handling of the Katrina crisis and the troop losses in Iraq have fueled public discontent and pushed Bush back to drink. The sad fact is that he's been sneaking drinks for weeks now. Laura may only have just caught him, but the word is he's drinking. His drinking has been going on for a while in the capital. He's been in a pressure cooker for months. The war in Iraq, the loss of American lives, has deeply affected him. He takes every soldier's life personally, It has left him emotionally drained. The result is he's taking drinks, and what does it say? He's taking the drinks here and there, likely in private, just to cope.
Can you imagine if the Secret Serviceman, as you watch him break his 19-year sobriety, countries at war, and he starts...
Oh, wow.
Don't say nothing. It's just I take one every so often. Just take the edge off. Don't say nothing.
You think it's real, though?
Yeah.
You really do?
I do.
He's leaned up against the desk next to the red button.
Oh,
you know what happened if I push this motherfucker? Yeah, fucking hotline.
Yo, Putin! Pootie Tang, what's up, bro? How you doing?
Guys, like, you know what time it is here, George?
I don't give a shit. I'm partying, motherfucker. What do you do?
Like those drunk phone calls you get?
Woo! You hear that? You know what that is? It's my skull. I'm so wasted. Dude. It's crazy. It's insane. It's nuts. Tom Brady. Did you see the game? It's insane.
You really think it's true?
Yeah, the Inquirer, I think everything in there is true. Not the silly stuff, the Bigfoot stuff or anything. I don't know how much the Inquirer... I know the Weekly World News has Bat Boy
right.
and that stuff, but the Inquirer is pretty celebrity-related, and you rarely see stuff that's wrong. They usually come out with it, and then the story comes out, and it's true, or at least there's a lot of fact in it. This is the quote.
It's been my experience in the few little pieces of shit magazines. They never get it right.
Really?
Yeah, I got one right. This college thing I was.
Oh well, that's your experience, right?
Yeah. What is this fucking thing? I don't even know. Some college magazine. And they were interviewing me, and they just started dropping in shit in quotes that I never said.
That you didn't say.
It was unreal. So they asked me like, "When did you decide to become a comedian?" And I was blabbing about this guy said he was going to he wanted to be a comedian. Then I was like, all of a sudden, being a comedian wasn't on TV anymore. It was sitting right next to me, and I figured, well, shit, if he's going to try it, I'm going to try it too. And then this part here, I go, that combined with the fact that I sucked at everything else in life, drove me into the loving arms of that treacherous lady we call stand-up.
You said that?
I never said that. I'm literally...
You did. It says it right there.
I know, it's in quotes, right? I'm literally going like...
Wait, the beginning of that is you. The beginning is you said. And then he tacked on some cornball fucking ending that you never said.
Never said that. I was talking about how I worked with some dude in a warehouse. He was saying he wanted to do stand-up, and then all of a sudden it didn't seem so weird.
Right.
And I said that combined with the fact...
That's so unattainable, right.
Yeah, that I sucked at everything else. Then, then I decided to do stand-up, but I guess evidently that wasn't glamorous enough for this kid, so he says...
What's the line?
Drove me into the loving arms of that treacherous lady we call stand-up.
Oh my God, kill yourself.
And it's in quotes and my big stupid head next to it.
That's a quote from the 30s. That treacherous lady. You can't trust a dame.
Oh, he just kept dropping in this shit from like the 40s. I knew that I was going to have to up my game in the Big Apple.
You would never say the Big Apple.
No. The Big Apple.
Wow, what a dick.
I got
making you sound silly.
Hot Atlanta.
All right, I guess the Bush thing's not real then.
Then it can't be true.
It just can't be true then. Chris in New York. Hey, Chris, what's up?
What's up, man? I was just calling to say the National Enquirer actually hires the best journalists in the country, believe it or not.
I don't believe it. What are you basing it on?
Usually you explain why.
Oh, the reason why is because the National Enquirer pays the best. Nobody wants to go to New York Times or any place like that because they're not going to get the same money.
No. That wouldn't make...
No, it sounds stupid. I mean, I actually learned it in journalism school. That's where I go now.
All right. So you're believing this story that the Enquirer has about the president?
They've got a lot on the line if they're wrong.
Yeah, I'm
but
thinking that too.
Isn't that like from a comedian sense, like you write for the National Enquirer, that's like you decide to be Carrot Top. Like, fuck it, I'm just going to start pulling shit out of a trunk. Don't you want to have any sort of credibility?
Yeah.
At least write for the Post.
Don't you want the money, though?
All right. Thank you,
You
guys.
make plenty of money at the Post.
Yes, Aunt?
Hey, Tony Blair? What do you say, me, you, Betsy, Laura, do some drugs, powering on, just get fucked up, all of us, three of us, six. I'll fuck you in the ass. What do you say? Get back to me. If you want to do this, Just fire off a nuclear missile. Take it as a signal.
We have more audio. The mayor of Houston, everyone.
We are joined this morning by the mayor of Houston, Mayor Bill White. Mayor, good to have you with us. Are you confident that your city will, good morning to you, will not be another New Orleans?
Yes, we don't have levees that will break, but I'll tell you, this is one of the largest storms ever to hit the Gulf Coast, and nothing good ever comes of a hurricane this size. That's why we got out of the way, or got out of the shelters. So many of those who were sheltering from Katrina, over 100,000 still residing in the area, and why we ask people to not go to work today, tomorrow. Starting 2 days ago, we began asking various categories of people to leave the region. So we're the best prepared city in the country, but I'll tell you this, nothing on this magnitude is welcome, and you can't, there's not much you can do for if you have 150-mile-an-hour plus winds.
All right.
Sounds bad.
It's going to be awful once again. And finally, here's some discussion about the gas prices. That's what we're all concerned about, right?
Certainly.
We all saw after Katrina that there was some, I remember in the Atlanta area, over $5 a gallon. So what's going to happen here, possibly?
Well, the best thing to do is look at the context. Katrina took out 10% of our nation's oil production. Now here we're expecting it could be more. With Katrina, we saw oil prices, gas prices at the pump go up 50%, 50 cents in 1 week. And that took gas at over $3.07. Since then, we've seen it drop down. It's $2.79 right now. I would expect that with Rita, we will see it go back over $3.
How about to heat your home this winter? Going to be costing
Tara Reid, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Even before Rita, we knew it was going to cost a lot.
Hold on. We might have something good here.
What?
Top five.
Darren, good to see
top
you.
five
Tip
tips.
number one, you've really got to understand the lingo if you want to make sure you have enough insurance to cover any losses. A lot of people have what's called cash value insurance. That means that if you have a loss, you may not get the money that you need to fix your house, buy the new furniture, particularly for contents.
Top 5 tips
That's
for
because your
insurance or the
insurer
hurricane?
is going to give you something less
this
than
is
what
gonna
you
be a
paid to
boring
buy
bit.
the content in the first place.
Let's see what number
It's called
2 is.
depreciation. That's the amount of money that they say makes up for the
Isn't
wear
it a
and
little
tear.
late for
if
this?
you want
Yeah, exactly.
the money,
You're gonna
what
call
it
an
costs to
insurance company?
replace
Yeah, I want to
the
get
content,
hurricane
you're gonna
insurance.
have to get
Hello?
replacement cost insurance.
They're not even
It's
answering their
7%.
phone
Yeah,
right
starting to
now.
rain.
It's really the way to go. If you have a horrible loss, it's the only way to
Jeez,
get the money you need.
tip 1 is taking
What about
forever.
Inflation? Inflation is a very big deal. In fact, about 60%
Yeah, inflation's a
of
big deal with the
homes are
people down
probably
there.
undervalued
Nothing
when it
fat.
comes to their insurance
No,
by
I
about
don't
Oh, yeah,
think so.
nobody's going to
60%.
float
no
like
confidence
people
in
from
that one
Houston.
anyway.
Inflation keeps
That was
rising.
voted the fattest city in the country.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it would have been New Orleans, looking at the video.
I guess it's top 5 insurance tips.
Yeah.
Ugh.
More. The estimates were the average person using heating oil was going to spend about $700 more this year than they spent last year. In the Midwest, we're hearing that if you use natural gas, your prices may be up over 70%.
Over
so
a
again, with Rita,
gazillion dollars.
I'm expecting big numbers there.
So is there anything people can do to save?
Well, I actually talked to the president of People's Energy in Chicago yesterday, and she said one of the things that you should think about winterizing that home. It'll save you 10 to 25% in your heating costs. That could be as much as $600 this winter.
Good advice there, Melody. Thank you, Melody Hopkins.
fuel it with
in Chicago.
potatoes.
Appreciate that.
Didn't she sound like Tara? She had the smoky voice. Smoky.
If you're feeling it, we could do Tara Reid when we get back.
We got some Tara clips, right?
Yeah, let's do some
Love to
Tara when
hear
we get
some.
back.
Very dangerous hurricane.
Robin,